What's up, guys? D-Rock 1992 here. For this next video, for my next About Actor video, I want to talk about a good action star. One of the best action stars of all time, arguably. He's been successful in 3 different franchises. Two of which are... Actually, all 3 of them are pretty iconic to action hero fans. And the guy I'm talking about is Sylvester Stallone. So this will be my next video. Before I get started, I'm just going to definitely mention that television-wise, I won't be talking a whole lot about that because, well, I'll actually just talk about it right now because there isn't a lot of television. He hosted Saturday Night Live in 1997, and in 2005 he appeared on a couple episodes of Las Vegas, and those are the only ones I really want to mention. So with television out of the way, I'm going to get into his film career, which is what he is definitely known for. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. He made his film debut in 1970 with a movie called The Party at Kitty and Studs. And what's kind of significant about this movie is that it's a softcore pornography film. If you suspected at all, if you thought that Sylvester Stallone wasn't in, if you were as surprised as I was to see that Sylvester Stallone was in a porn film for his first film ever, raise your hand. I mean, wow. And he said about the film, too, it's interesting, he said about the film, he was broke. He was flat broke. He was on his last leg, so he had to do the film. It was renamed, actually, a few years later, Italian Stallion, to capitalize on his fame. And the film that I'm going to be talking about now is the film that really broke him out. Between 1970 and 1976, he was in quite a few films, but nothing that really established him. But 1976, everybody knows what Sylvester Stallone's breakout was, and that was the first Rocky movie. That was in 1976. Now, I've reviewed the first 5 Rocky movies. And I'm just going to go ahead and list off the movies and what year they came out. In 1976, he came out with the first Rocky. 1979 was Rocky II. Rocky III came out in 1982. Rocky IV in 1985. Rocky V in 1990. And the latest Rocky, Rocky Balboa, or Rocky VI, in 2006. The Rocky movies are just very memorable for a lot of action fans. It's a feel-good story. The underdog winning it out. Except in Rocky 1, he did not win in that one. Excuse me. But, I mean, Rocky's just an iconic hero in American pop culture. He's one of the best. And for more on my Rocky reviews, go to my Rocky reviews. I reviewed the first 5, like I said. Rocky Balboa was about him coming back. That was a comeback story, basically. Him older. Definitely. But, yeah, the Rocky films are very iconic. Then he goes ahead in 1982 and starts another franchise. Another very successful franchise, which is the Rambo franchise. Rambo First Blood. First Blood came out in 1982, and I thought that was a pretty good movie. Rambo First Blood Part 2 came out in 1985. Rambo 3 in 1988. And the latest one, Rambo, in 2008. So it definitely, it was a success for him, the Rambo series. If you like feel-good stories for the Rocky film series, you'll like the Rocky film series. If you like vigilante justice or something like that, in that aspect, you'll enjoy the Rocky movie, the Rambo movies. It's yeah, I mean the movies have been very iconic. I've watched the first three thus far, and my favorite is Rambo 3. I really like that one a lot. My favorite Rocky movie, and that's a tough one to say, too. I really enjoyed Rocky 5, even though that's one of the lower rated ones. You know, but anyway, the Rambo movies were just so successful. And it's really, Rambo and Rocky are two iconic characters that Sylvester Stallone, created and portrayed. I think he created both of those characters anyway. In 1986, he appears in Cobra, which is one of his well-known movies outside of the franchises he's been in. 1989, he appears in a movie called Tango and Cash. I think another one where it's more well-known. It's him and Kurt Russell. In 1992, he takes a step into comedy. This one's quite disastrous. It's a movie called Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot. And needless to say, when your movie gets a 4% rating on Rotten Tomatoes like that movie did, I mean, you're not doing something. It's a foray into comedy, but it didn't work. In 1993, he comes out with Cliffhanger. Actually, I think that was one of the first live-action movies that I've seen outside of the later franchise I'm going to talk about, Rocky and Rambo. And I gotta say, Cliffhanger is that movie about, he's a rock climber, and he has to stop this group of villains from trying to retrieve a lot of money from 3 different suitcases. And Cliffhanger is a decent action movie. The best parts of the movie were Sylvester Stallone and the villain played by John Lithgow. Those are the best 2 parts of the movie. But it was decent. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it was okay. I mean, it was in the middle, kind of. And enjoyable in moments. 1993, he comes out with a movie called Demolition Man. This is him and Sandra Bullock and Wesley Snipes. How about 2 of the best action stars of the day in Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes in one movie? They would later team up in a later movie, though, which I will get into afterwards. But Demolition Man, one of his more commercially successful films outside of the franchises. 1995, he stars in the movie Judge Dredd. It's a science fiction action film. Judge Dredd is a British comic based on a strip of the same name in the British comic 2000 AD. Judge Dredd wasn't very successful, but it's just one that I wanted to mention because people have probably heard about it. In 1998, he appears in one of his first animated roles, if not his first animated role, the movie Ants. He voices one of the ants in the movie, and it's a supporting role, but he's in the film. He appears in Spy Kids 3D Game Over in 2003. And he's not normally a guy, when you think of Sylvester Stallone, You don't think of a guy who's in kids' movies. You think of him as an action type hero like Rocky and like Rambo and all those guys. Speaking of Rocky, I'll give my best Rocky impression right now. Well, actually, I've given that already, so I'm not really, well, it's Rocky. Something like that. It's terrible, I know, but what are you going to do? Flash into 2010. We move on to 2010. And he was in, he started a successful film series, another one, as Barney Ross in The Expendables. Now, I'm not going to talk about the plots of the 3 Expendables movies, because I've actually reviewed all 3 of them. The Expendables 3 is my favorite out of the whole thing by far. 2010, The Expendables was an enjoyable movie. 2012's The Expendables 2 was a little bit of a step below, but not bad, you know. And then in this year, just this year, on The Expendables 3, which I did get to see, actually. The Expendables series, you know, a successful film series. And once again, Sylvester Stallone has another successful film series to really establish himself, you know, to really put his footing in the action scene in Hollywood. He already had a footing, but The Expendables definitely increases it. In 2013, he appears in Bullet to the Head and Escape Plan. Bullet to the Head and Escape Plan and Grudge Match. Escape Plan is with him and Arnold Schwarzenegger, both of them in the film. And it's about him. He built this master prison, and Stallone's got to try to escape it. Grudge Match, he gets into a boxing match with Robert De Niro. And basically that's what's that. I mean, 2 boxers, I think, coming out of retirement or something like that, and they battle each other. And then this year, in 2014, Expendables 3, of course. And then there was another movie that came out. I think is it coming out, or... Actually, it did come out November 21st of this year, and it was a movie called Reach Me. And what's significant about this is that it's a romantic action comedy crime drama film. Anything romantic, anything with drama, you don't picture Sylvester Stallone in those types of roles. And well, he got this role. I think this movie was an independent film, but he was in it, and you know, November 21st it came out. It'll come out in the United Kingdom in a DVD release on February 2nd of next year. But yeah, Reach Me was another movie he was in this year. Movies for the future for Sylvester Stallone. He is going to be doing... I mean, there's a rumor... he probably is going to do an Expendables 4, which I'll be excited about. Definitely, I will go see that in a heartbeat. And there's been rumors that, you know, Jackie Chan might be in one of the Expendables movies. One of the big things about the Expendables movies is 80s action stars, 70s/80s action stars, and 90s too, action stars of a lot of decades that are piled into one movie. And the Expendables 4 should be coming soon, definitely. I mean, in a couple of years, realistically. I think he's going to do another Rambo. And the movie is called Rambo Last Blood. And I think it's going to be the last Rambo movie that he's going to do. And... well, let's see here. Rambo Last Blood is... I mean, the last one in the series, definitely, and it will, I mean, it kind of has something in it. It'll involve a Mexican cartel, I believe, or something like that, but realistically, look for Rambo Last Blood in a couple of years, probably. It's a suggestion, meaning that it's Last Blood, that Stallone is just going to do this film as Rambo and then retire John Rambo for good after film number 5. And then the other big thing is that Sylvester Stallone's going to have a supporting role as Rocky Balboa in the spin-off film of the Rocky series, Creed, which is going to focus on... You think to yourselves, if you've watched Rocky 3, you know that, or Rocky 4 rather, excuse me, Rocky 4, you know that Apollo Creed, who battled with Rocky in Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, and helped him in Rocky 3, Apollo Creed died in Rocky 4 in the ring from injuries from the Ivan Drago in Rocky 4. Well, this movie's going to focus on Apollo Creed's grandson. And Sylvester Stallone is going to play Rocky, who will be the mentor to the grandson. So I think it's an interesting spin-off. It would be one that I'd go see, for sure. Other than that, you know, he'll have a Rambo movie. He'll reprise his role as Rocky. You know, I think it's up in the air whether he wants to do another Rocky film. But I have my suspicions that Rocky 6, Rocky Balboa, was his last film. And you know he's going to do another Expendables. You just know it. I mean, there's more stars that are planned to be in that 4th movie. Pierce Brosnan, one of them. Hulk Hogan, Jackie Chan, they've all been rumored to be in future Expendables films. And, you know, I'm hoping for another Rambo film, hoping for another Rocky film, I'm hoping for another Expendables that are as good as the other ones in those series. Interesting fact about Sylvester Stallone, almost infamous. Sylvester Stallone, you know, Rocky, Rambo, and Barney Ross. You know, 3 characters, 3 franchises that he's popularized. He actually has the record for the most Razzie Award wins with 4. Razzie Award, for those of you who don't know, the Razzie Awards are the opposite of the Academy Awards. The Academy Awards for great performance are awarded for good performances, great performances. The Razzie Awards are awarded for terrible performances. And Stallone has the record for that. But, I don't think he's complaining, though. You know, with all the money he's made from the franchises and his other films as well, I don't think he's complaining too much. And, that's it for the Sylvester Stallone video. D-Rock 1992 out.